Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Actually, if we are on Eastern Standard Time, it's good afternoon. If you're on Pacific Time, it's not yet afternoon. So, good morning for the people that are out west. My name is Steve Noel. I'm VP of Microsoft Sales and Development at IT Cloud. And today we're going to be talking about an introduction or training or end user training on adoption to Copilot, prompting for end users. Maybe by show of hand, I'd like to know if some of you are actually using a Copilot on a daily basis, or you could just write on the chat if you want to. So I have Chanel, I have Abit Tej um, as well. All right, that's good. Any of you actually have Copilot installed on your device on your smartphones? Myself, it is. It's been almost from since day one. It's been available. Any of you have it installed on your smartphones? Oh, Chanel, not on the phone. Why not? We're going to talk about that a little later, but I just want to set the table for this training. It's really an introduction. So some of you might find the information here, some of the things that you've seen before, but hopefully I'm going to have a few nuggets. Whereas you're going to say, "Hey, oh, that's cool. Maybe I haven't used this before." So that's kind of my objective. We're also going to record this session and make it available on our YouTube channel. So if you just go IT Cloud on YouTube, you should be able to see our logo and be able to actually have access to that if you have a colleague or someone you'd like to share this information with. So I think that one of the most important things when it comes to the how could I put it, the conversational AIs. So for here, I'm talking about the Copilots, the Chat GPTs, the Gemini of this world. But one of the most important thing is understanding prompting and understanding also what's the difference between these different AI tools or chatbot, if you let me call them that. So number one, what we're going to be discussing today is most definitely we're going to be discussing how to be safe with AI with an AI chat, getting started with Copilot, how to get the most out of it, and some additional resources. Microsoft Copilot. So when you think about being safe in an AI powered chat, I think one of the things that one of the misconstrued things is that Copilot, ChatGPT, Gemini, they're exactly the same. I beg to differ. In some cases, you might be happy to know that Copilot, one of the things that differentiate Copilot is when you use it with a corporate account, it actually keeps your data safe. So your data is not exposed to the public. When I was doing this training a little earlier, I was explaining to people, hey, listen, when you get all that amazing information, for instance, if we go on Copilot and say, hey, what is the can you give me an idea of what the pricing for an MSP is? If you're, doing device per device pricing, what should I be charging? It'll actually, get the information from the web. Some of it is information that's directly available, on some pages, and some of it is actually has been shared through maybe Excel documents, and people have actually asked, not Copilot, as ChatGPT to do some stuff with their data, and it was, just relevant information that was fed into the chatbot, into the AI engine, and from there you have access to that information. So one of the things that you can, really think of when you're using, and that's kind of the way I've decided to go with using AI myself, is actually to use the one from Microsoft, so Copilot, because I know that at least my data is not going to get trained by the they're not going to use my data to train the AI engine or the AI model. So when you think about Copilot itself, you really think about the fact that nowadays the way that we're actually using the AI models in the chat in the AI chat is more than just asking, you know, it's not even a question. It's really being able to leverage conversational language, right? Just having a normal conversation. I don't know for you that have used AI assistants for a while, but actually kind of got used, and also as with I can say the same thing with search engines. We've actually been used to actually write kind of like a computer. Basically, it's not the way that we would talk to someone. It's not natural. But with these new tools, you're able to actually get customized answers. It's not completely different. You're not taking the information. You're actually inputting it a certain way, and you're getting the output that you want. If not, you can actually continue having a conversation with the AI, and actually, it'll provide you with a better answer. And I think if there's one thing I want you to get out of this training today is really understanding that, hey, I can actually leverage this and get exactly what I'm looking for. Or if not exactly, very close to what I'm looking for, because I can use, the AI, or I can use Copilot as a way to actually converse and have a discussion with the AI and finally get more and better information. I don't think that I don't know, but I'm gonna ask maybe that question to everyone. Do you feel that the first time that you write the question, or do you feel that get you get the exact answer you're looking for on the first go ahead? So, I mean, write in the chat if you feel that you're getting the exact information that you're looking for the first time that you write it. Don't be shy. Most of the time, Pierre Marc, you do. Maybe you're really good at writing prompts. I've actually sometimes I have to write it a few times before I actually, depending on how complex the information I'm looking for, I need to write it, one time, two times, sometimes three. I turn it around. Yeah, exactly. It's really a matter of writing the correct prompt. I think that a Google search will actually just throw search results, right? Send you to links and web pages. I think that the way that we use Copilot on conversational, it's more of a, hey, they're getting me some information, but it's not exactly what I'm looking for. I want to be more I want to be more specific on what I'm and how I write these things. So what are the things that you can get, in terms of customized answers from the internet? Yeah, summaries, analysis. You're looking for information input from a specific document that you're asking. Tables, content, obviously content creation is a big one. And images, I've had some fun. I have some success, but I did the same exact training in French this morning. They're trying to generate some images. um, my mileage varies. Maybe I'm not as good as writing prompts, or maybe the AI is not as good as interpreting what I want. So why Microsoft Copilot? Um, well, number one thing, Copilot uses some of the most it leverages Chat GPT, and really uses the latest in LLMs and AI models. Very easy to understand. Um, if you go to Chat GPT right now and use a free version, you're most likely not using the latest and greatest from Chat GPT, because they're reserved using the latest models to paying customers. If you're, the other thing also is that if you're looking for, if you're looking for I guess, up to date data, right? Again, same thing. If you're using a free model, or if you're using the free version of the model, you're not necessarily getting information that's up to date. You're getting your what you're really getting is, um, I guess, a copy of what the web was at that specific time. It might be 2023, 2022, 2021. Who knows when they've actually updated the model. And one of the most important thing I really like about Copilot is the fact that it actually will list, its sources, and you can actually validate the way, because hallucination is a real thing when when you think about it, right? Um, yeah, so it's a real thing. It does. I mean, I wouldn't say it'll give you erroneous information, and it's very easy to understand why it will give you erroneous information. It's because it's actually getting the information from the internet. So if the sources, and everybody complains about fake news today, fake news, fake news. Well, if the sources where it's taking the information are not vetted, you're going to get wrongful information. And that's why leveraging Copilot is different than actually using some of these third party tools, because some of these third party tools will show you, Copilot will show you where the information's been vetted. I got an interesting question. Does Pierre Mark is asking if Copilot is able to differentiate fake news from real news. I don't think so, to be honest. That's why you have to be very careful with the information that you're using. It's it's just an engine that's actually trying to anticipate what you're what you're going to ask it next, or what you're looking for. So it doesn't validate exactly the information that you're looking for. So what are the different places where you can get Copilot? Obviously, you can. We talked about it before. If you haven't gotten it on your cell phone, I would most definitely tell you, hey, get Copilot on your Microsoft mobile app, Microsoft 365 mobile app. I use it. I use the free version. I use the paid version because I have access to the paid version. By show of hands, maybe you tell me your thumbs up, or just write on the chat who has a Copilot for Microsoft 365 license. I actually have one myself. Crystal, great. Who else has a Mark also has one of those licenses. All right, just nobody else. Chanel, Colin, nobody has one of these licenses. It's fine if you don't have one of these licenses. Um, Actually, this version of the training, or this part of the training, it does initially. You don't need a full license to be able to do that. As a matter of fact, I would encourage you, if you have two screens, when I'm doing some of the demos, do them for yourself. And if you found interesting information, share with the group here. Um, so you can go Microsoft.com/Copilot, Copilot.microsoft.com. You can use Copilot in Edge. Apparently, there's an Outlook app also for Copilot. I'd be interested in looking into it. The Teams app, obviously, if you're using Copilot for 365, you have all these different options there. So when you're using Copilot on the major browsers, if you're not leveraging Edge, there are some limitations. If you're using the native browser from Microsoft, you're getting an extra set of features. And I think that what's interesting is the fact that you can actually search a web page and it understands the context. um, you can actually have it summarize a PDF document right from there. And, it actually will do contextual, you can actually do contextual prompt depending on the information that's, so as you're within that page, continue asking a bunch of questions and it continues this way. When you're using it in Chrome, to be honest, I haven't used it in Chrome. I am part of the Google ecosystem. Obviously, it's either your Mac or your Android. And I do use Gemini, and to be honest, it's actually pretty good. I don't use it um, professionally because you know I I wouldn't want to share my data with without it being encrypted and everything. But on a personal note, if if I'm leveraging that assistant, I use it this way. But to get the best experience, I think that to use with Microsoft Edge is really the best way to do that. So if you don't have it installed on your computer, I'm sorry, on your mobile phone, go ahead and download it. Maybe I give you 30 seconds and go ahead and download the Copilot mobile app. So good stuff. Listen, I'm here. I've been using it for a while. I test it, right? I have the Gemini one also on my phone, but I also leverage Copilot to see some of the differences. All right, everybody has got it. Some of you, I feel like some of you are not too crazy about installing Copilot on your phone. But what else are you going to do if you want an exceptional and also free to use and secure chat GPT like engine? So let's get started and let's look. Let's go to Microsoft.com/Copilot or copilot.microsoft.com. Let me pull in my browser here to shift things. Just give me a second here. Wrong browser. All right, a few things. Um, so we're in. You see, it says Bing Chat as well. If you go copilot.microsoft.com, it brings you to this page. I want to share a few things with you on that. Right? Um, I'm not signed in, so I'm actually using here my my personal account. So I don't see any signs of it being. I don't see this as being secure, right? So let's see how I can make sure that I'm signed in and the data is secure. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click here and I'm going to switch to my account here. This is my corporate email address. And I see here that commercial data protection applies to this chat. Use discretion when sharing personal and organizational data, right? But I do see that it's protected. Before, if you went back, I switched to personal account. It's not protected, right? I don't see any indication where it's protected. So I'm going to switch it and I'm going to make sure that I'm used as protected. Another thing is that I can use where the information is grounded, right? So what is it looking for as a data source? So here it's the web only. If I go here, I click here, I can see that it's a Copilot for Microsoft 365. And it's actually looking for, hey, what's the latest from X person, organized by emails, chat files, suggest common question that can be asked to get a retrospective started with colleagues. As you can see, this is actually the paid version, right? Because it's actually based on my emails. Um, you see, it's talks about chats. summarize Teams messages where I was mentioned. So this is grounded specifically with my work data. And you can see that, I've got a bunch of stuff that I've asked, and I can go back into the web version. All right. So a few things I can do. There's also if I go notebook, I can print some stuff up right here. Like if it asks, Pierre Mark is asking if I had asked to describe myself. I've done it before. If we have time, I'll show you guys. If you've never tried it, it's great stuff. You can actually get Copilot to write a decent bio. So whenever I have sometimes speaking engagements, I actually had Copilot write a really good, a really good bio for me. The funny thing is sometimes it'll add stuff. So I have a doctorate or something like that. But that's funny. What you want to do is most definitely is make sure that you double check the information. So here, if you want to write a more detailed prompt, or if you want to create a new topic, and you've got your content here. So there's different ways of looking into this. So here, I'm just going to use the prompt. So what we want to do is a prompt. Really, at the end of the day, is what you're trying to do is create a question and a chat where a question, and where the Copilot is going to be able to answer that question for you. They're very simple, but I think that there's logic to it, right? You want to give it as much context and much refined information as you need to be able to get the correct information you're looking for. Um, Copilot is multimodal, kind of like GPT. I think it's 4.0, which means that conversational. You can actually generate more than just, you can generate a lot more than just text, but you can actually generate, images, as you can see here. And you can generate more than images if you have the proper plugins. And if you look at the bar here, maybe we can look at what else you can generate, but there's different plugins where you can generate songs and different things like that. So really a lot of interesting things that you can create, but understanding that as you're building the prompt, you can actually build on top of the prompt. So as an example, um, so what are the top services that MSPs offer to SMB? So as you can see, you see the variety of services. And then, so how should I charge my services as an MSP? So here, as you can see, I'm continuing on that subject. So here, per device, per user, tiered pricing, value-based, monitoring only, a la carte, analyze your cost. And as you've seen here, you can actually see where it's actually taking the information, right? So if I click on the one here, it's opening up the link, and I can see where it's getting the information. This, you don't get this with, I would actually encourage you to do that as you're getting into this journey of leveraging the prompting. Is looking where it actually gets the information, so you don't get hallucinations, right? So here, what's an average price I can charge on a per user basis to my customers in the Quebec province as an MSP. So here, as you can see, I'm getting very specific. So I'm asking for an average price on a per user basis to my, I'm actually SMB customers. So I'm even putting SMB customers in the Quebec province as an MSP. Look at this here. For SMB customers, the average MSP charge on a per user basis typically ranges from 125 to 150 per user a month. So here, where's it getting the information from? It's getting it from MSP pricing user per customer. The pricing includes essential services such as remote monitoring, RMM, antivirus backup solution, help desk support. Service inclusions. Okay, you can see that. I could include an advanced or market. Okay. Are there any exclusion? Okay, so would you like more details or specific aspect of MSP pricing? So, so look at this here. I think one of the great thing about when we're using this is, even if you don't have the question yourself, you can actually, it actually suggested, is actually suggesting additional questions you can ask. Right? What are the services should I include in my basic package? How do I calculate the cost of providing per user services? So here I've got this. So which one should I ask? One, two, or three? What is more relevant for you to ask? What should be included in the basic package? How to calculate this on the per user device, or pricing for larger customers? Okay, so you're looking for we're going well hunting, right? Big customers. Look at this. So example pricing for larger clients, you might charge between 150 to 250 per user a month, depending on complexity and the range of services. Per device, 100 to $300, especially if the device requires specialized and management and support. So let's put in what should be included in an MSP offering for large customers. So the example here is I'm gathering information, I'm analyzing, I'm asking more questions about the information. And here, obviously we see where it's actually getting the information from. These are the different sources where it's getting. I can go, further and further into that. I know that one of the things that whenever I was creating new offerings or I was generating new text or even presentation itself, it was very difficult to gather and find the information online. Now, there's a tool that enables me to actually ask very, very specific questions and get that information. Um, if you hit new topic, obviously it refreshes and you lose all the information. If you want to export the information, just going to click here, export. So I can export it directly in a Word document. I'm just going to hit, and here I could get really fancy here. I could really ask it to uh, create an offering based of that for, mid-sized to large customers. Or we will keep it for a little later and see. And there was a question, uh, export to Word PDF text. So does format slash Copilot work? I'm not sure what you're alluding to, Yama. So in terms of prompts, the more obviously if you're vague, if you're not specific, your mileage will value. You want to be specific, you want to be detailed, use full sentences. If it's a converse, if it's more of a, I mean, if more of a text that your content that you're creating, you want to talk and you want to be very specific on the tone that you're going to be using there. All right. So these are the different things that you want to do as you're using and you're creating these prompts there. And here, here are a few tips. I'm going to fast forward that. So how to chat, you want to enter your prompt. You want to check your sources, make sure and validate that the information is correct, and continue the conversation, which was exactly what we did before. And we checked out the sources. It was funny this weekend. My wife was working on a work project, super serious stuff. I mean, I can't even say where she worked because I might get in trouble. But yeah, super serious stuff she works on, and she's trying to gather information and validate. She works for in let's call it in the, I don't want to get in trouble, but anyways, she was she was working and she was getting very specific in what she was trying to accomplish. And then on obviously on one side she was looking at creating the document, on the other side she had Copilot open, and she was also, and I was having discussions, this product is amazing, all that, but I was telling her, hey, listen, if you're doing this and you're looking and you're putting this in your work, make sure that you are looking at the different sources, because if you're not making sure that your all this information is there, then you're going to be running into some issues there. So getting the most out of Copilot is yeah, summarize long PDF, draft content, generate images, I see learn new skills, get answers for specific questions. I think that the best way to actually is to actually look at what you can do. So I had a few examples, and they're very, if you click here and you open this, very specific, right? I want to show what happens when you have a lot of complex information. So let me import a document here and the Microsoft AI Cloud Partner Program Benefit Guide. If you're not familiar with that guide, it's a guide that gives you, if you have a certain partners designation is a certain skill set that you're able to prove that you have from Microsoft, and you decide to get that, and you have a bunch of benefits that are included. So here it's a 75-page document, and just to show you that it's 75-page document, let's just open it up here. And within that document here, you see here 75 pages. And here you can see all the different benefits, right, that you have. So let's say you see solution partner designations and all that stuff. So here, what are the benefits for a partner with the Azure infrastructure designation? So partners with Azure designation receive several benefits. 6,000 annually for production, 12,000 for development, Visual Studio, sandboxes for dynamics, operations. Interesting because I'm pretty sure that you get more than these benefits, but let's look at, if I go here, it's a lot of pages, right? So I'm gonna go and go here. Let me ask it here. What pages? What are the pages where I can find this information in the document? Not specific enough, right? Where in the document can I find partner benefits? Azure partner benefits. Anyone wants to try? Maybe I get a, maybe they have a better prompt I should be writing. Just not getting it. So your guys are letting me out to dry. That's it. All right, partner launch benefits. Or special solution designation for partners providing services. Okay. Solution partner designation. Infrastructure. Okay. So infrastructure, maybe highlight here. Benefits for infrastructure. I'm going to rewrite it. What are, so it's a summary. It's not giving me. And your mileage will vary. Be more like I found the information a lot more specific last time I did it. So maybe the prompt I wrote was different. But as you can see, you can find the information. So it's kind of summary because I can see there's Azure credits, obviously technical support, training and certifications, marketing resource, co-sell opportunity. But that's in the grand scheme of things. Let me try this. Infrastructure partners. What are the software benefits for an infrastructure designation? Again, more details, but not enough detail. I can ask a lot further in there, but that's how you can look into a document that's 75 pages and get the information that's required. I've been doing this presentation over and over again, and that's the thing with Copilot and these models is you actually have to like get the correct prompt, and so you get the exactly what you're looking for. As another example, you're not limited only to like you can actually limited to look into documents, but you can actually ask it to look into images and find images that are similar to something you're looking for or generate images. So as an example here, I'm gonna ask it to create a logo for an IT for an MSP that specializes in Microsoft Teams phone. I have absolutely no idea what it's going to create here, but it's always interesting to look at what it does. Look, Pierre Max says add a company name. Yeah, we're gonna do that after. So again, iteration. So we're doing that's the first version. We'll see what it does. So I ran into that situation. For some reason, when I when I'm connected and I use my corporate account, it doesn't. If I switch back to my personal account, it will work. So let's try this again. A logo. Um, I'm going to call it Teams Teams Expert. Um, wow. I'm going to try this prompt. Include an icon related to communication. Um, I'm sorry, but I prefer not to continue this conversation. I'm still learning to. I'm still learning, so appreciate your understanding and patience. Wow. Oof. That's interesting. I ran into Never mind. I ran into some limitations. Um, I ran into some limitations. I know that if you go on into the session, that's the thing with the free versions of the software is the fact that if you're using the free version of it, it runs into some limitations. Um, Here are some of the chat plugins that I've described before. I know that somebody showed me, and I haven't tried that. View contacts and read and send clock features and location address. But this one is pretty cool. Make a song with Sono. Your song request will. So that's pretty interesting things. Um, so we've actually reached the end of the of I guess being able to demo all the stuff I wanted to demo. Um, I'm seeing more. It's interesting because as this evolves and as Microsoft is evolving the free version of it, I see some limitations there. I know that when I was speaking to my wife this week, and she said after a certain number of sessions and questions, she needed to take a break. She actually took another computer and continued on that. So kudos for Microsoft for those limitations. Apparently, this is a very expensive offering to run. Um, I go next, and we're gonna go back to this. A good thing, Gemma. Good jokes. So here are simple prompts that you can find directly from Microsoft. One thing that we didn't look into is that there's additional, not resources, but additional things that you can use and learn directly from Copilot here. All right, if I go back and I click here, so I'm still connected. Okay, create a new topic here. It's looking a little different than, let's go to work here. Now I want to show you guys something very specific. As you go to view prompts, you have access to Copilot Labs and you have examples of different prompts that you can get, right? Draft an introduction, track a task. And if you go here, see all prompts. And if you have Copilot licenses, you have the Copilot. I think this is a Copilot Lab. And you have different examples of what you can create and how you can do it. So I think that, and gives you tips on how to create and have better prompts. And through this, you can go more information and more video tutorials. Let's go back to the presentation here. We talked about summarizing a document, trying to write an email based on web content, very easy things to do, creating and generating images, and you have information on different videos depending if you're a Copilot, you want to use it as a marketer, as human resources, or if you're developing software as well. So how you can leverage this. So this is about it. I hope. Wait. It's charging. This video is going to be available if you're IT Cloud Partner. We're gonna even put. I'm gonna ask the team to put it on the information that we have directly on the partner portal, IT Cloud Partner Portal. This is a first of many. This is just more of an introduction to leveraging Copilot. I think that the next one we're gonna go. Well, I don't think I know because it's already prepared. We're gonna go deeper into that subject. So if you want to invite your customers to to be here. I know that there's a few things that haven't gone exactly as we expected, and it is kind of to be expected as we're using the free version. And I wanted to show you guys some specific things on prompting. As we go to the next level, is we're actually going to be more into Microsoft 365 and the things that we can do there. So stay tuned, and thank you very much for your time, and talk to you soon. Bye bye.